Hi, Dr. Jim Turrell here, and I want to thank you for taking the time to view this brief video about an animated version of how the science of mind works. I'm sort of experimenting with this, and I'd love to get your feedback. So please take note and let me know how you think. And you can send your comments back to drjim@jimturrell.com. So this is a brief lesson in Science of Mind Basics. The lesson is how we personalize our God self and use our ego self or our spiritual self to manifest our experience. We begin, of course, with the universal conscious mind or spirit. This is the thinker. And as that thinker thinks, it creates the context through which thought can manifest itself, such as in this symbol. And as the thinker thinks, it sows, and what it sows, of course, is thoughts. And as those thoughts fall into that deep, rich soil or soul of the universal subconscious, then the subconscious is waiting to turn those thoughts into things like the soil is waiting to turn seeds into plants. Now here's the key. The soul cannot reject what you believe or think into it. And as it grows, those seeds take form and fall into that form. And here's the thing, the result is always some particular experience or growth. And the key is all experiences are unconscious effects and have only the meaning you give them. Now let's take a look and see how that sense of the universal personalizes itself. So in this case, we have first cause, the universal thinker, thinking. And when first cause thinks, it populates creation with the context of form and potential, and then leaves its creation alone to discover itself. It's important for you to understand this, because until you wake up and see this context through which you're thinking in the form of this universal, it's hard to understand how to use it, how to relate to it. But as you discover cause within yourself, you will discover your potential and the form your life takes. You will also find two things. You'll find your ego intellect, which will be willful and demanding in character, and you'll also find your spiritual and intuitive self, which will be willing and receptive. Those are all in your conscious mind, your ability to think and choose and initiate. Now, what happens is as you think, you personalize either one or the other, your ego or your spiritual intuitive self. If you use your ego self, you will reach into your emotional memory and recreate old experiences of success, failure, fear, and limitation, which are all the old historical options. And the V is pointing to that subconscious memory you hold within you. On the other hand, if you use your spiritual intuitive self, you will become the agent of cause and the distribution point of love, peace, abundance, and joy. And your willing and receptive nature will reach into an entirely different experience. And as it does, that universal cause will begin to animate whatever you're thinking into an experience for yourself. Now, how do we become separate from this power? Well, if we take a look at this particular lesson, which is how we separate ourselves from God and how we experience that separation, how we heal the separation, this shell represents that first cause, which, when it contemplates itself, manifests the exact expression of itself as relative first cause. And when that relative first cause, which is you and me, begins to think about itself or contemplate itself, then cause gives us an effect and animates that effect into an experience. Now, if we contemplate the effect and not the cause, we can create separation, which creates fear, worry, limitation, and concern. Now, to get that fear, worry, limitation, and concern to go away, we have to turn away from the effect and contemplate the first cause, and that will move us back into correct relationship with God. And when that happens, the effect magically seems to just change automatically. You know, the key here is to understand that when you personalize God, you've got two choices. You either come from that willful, demanding part of yourself or that willing and receptive part of yourself. And when you're willing and receptive and connected to a principle like love and peace or joy or truth, that principle informs you in a different way. So this is just one simple way to perhaps explain how that works. And remember, it's working simultaneously and instantaneously as you think. So watch what you think. And be careful to contemplate the truth about God's love.